Hi, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is the Ruby Tuesday. You know what? I hear all you people saying Ruben's lost the plot finally, properly. I get it. I hear my son laughing at me and my wife going, I told you. Welcome back to the best thing you watched this week. My name is Ruben. That's Chris over there. He's from Movies and Munchies. This is the best thing you watched. This is not the Ruby Tuesday, although I am speaking from the Ruby Tuesday and Chris is talking from Movies and Munchies. Hopefully we've got an interesting show with you where we speak in full sentences some of the time. We do movie quiz quotes every week, which Chris is going to be continuing this week, so look forward to that and the answers from last week. We also are going to be doing a Patreon special for our patrons. I'm not going to say which one we're doing for those part of our patrons already, because I think this will be a surprise and they'll enjoy this one. But for the normal Patreon video that we do every week, we are going to be doing spoilers and ending explained and future ideas of where the franchise might go for Dungeons and Dragons, as it's just come out now to theaters wide. So if you want to talk spoilers, just £1 on Patreon. You can check us out there with a plethora of videos, like at least 14. There's a lot that you get for a bang for your buck. I think that's how it goes.
We're just gonna let that.
I said that the wrong way around. That I mean, I'm not that cheap, but okay. Maybe.
Just gonna leave it.
Chris is not going there. All right, fine. In our audio exclusive section, Chris and I also choose a film for each other that we haven't seen for a long time or we've never seen. This week was my choice, so we'll see whether Chris liked that, and we'll review that at the beginning of the audio exclusive. And then we'll talk entertainment news, which there is some, because stuff happens every week, and I'm always amazed the world is still around. Every week, we're like, we survived another week. Woo! How did that happen? I don't know. There's some angels looking out for us. And we do what we're looking forward to. And some weeks it's just like, there's so much. And we talk about the things that perhaps you have not heard of. We talk about things that maybe you'll want to see, because who has time to, sift through all the streaming? Well, we do that so that you don't have to. So I hope you enjoy what we bring to you week on week. Hi, Chris. Hello, audience. Let's do this.
Hello. Yes. Awesome. Whew. Okay.
So many words.
Yeah, just so many words. Yes. Let's dive into the movie quote quiz. Shout out to, I think, first-time winner, Jeff Hoffman. Outstanding. Nostromo coming in second, telling me to suck it. Well, I don't know what that means, really. I think that offends half the world when I do that. But,
yeah.
So, the answers.
Yes.
There was Ghostbusters.
Yes.
The second answer, I'm going to accept a bunch, because I was quoting one movie in particular, but it makes it's in a couple of movies.
So I thought it was Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan.
It's in that. I think it's in 3 or 6, something else. The one that I was quoting was from Star Trek, from 2009, where they did the Kelvin timeline, where it was the reboot.
Oh, from Darkness? That one?
The Chris Pine series, yeah.
Chris Pine,
not Into Darkness, but it's the one before, the actual, where it was just Star Trek.
Oh, the first one.
The first one, yeah. Where he meets Spock.
Right.
There. So anyway, so if you said Star Trek, any of those,
okay,
you
got a point.
That.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
You get a point. You get a point.
Everybody gets a point. Yeah. Yes, that was a freebie. And then the final one is Miscongeniality.
Yes, that's what I was saying. I was so happy. It was Miscongeniality. You can hear it, like the way you were quoting it. As I hear a voice that the person, and world peace. It's so funny. Great fun. Yeah.
Lots of fun. Okay. So this week, I got 3 new ones. So
cool.
You ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm just crewman number 6. I'm expendable. I'm the guy in the episode who dies to prove how serious the situation is. I got to get out of here.
Oh my gosh. Guy. That's all I'm going to say.
I figured you'd appreciate that one.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Second one. Willie, we are going to die.
Okay. I mean, if without the Willie, that could be a number of movies, but Willie is very specific. Yeah. Okay.
It is. Yes.
Nice.
That places it into the movie there. There's even like some hand gestures that I could do, but I'm not going to do them because I think they give them away even more.
Are they rude?
No.
Right.
It's just funny. At least in my head, it's funny because I see the whole scene in the movie, and there you go.
All right. So talking about hand gestures, this one is obviously rude, but did you guys ever have this one?
That means you got your nose.
Oh, I see. In South Africa, when I was young, this is another way to say F you. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This one was less than. This was worse.
This was worse?
Yeah.
So all of the little kids around, in the U.S. are going like, "Get your nose," and all the South Africans are like,
So for the audio, sorry guys, I did the middle finger where I stick my finger up, and then you put your thumb with the closed fist in between your two forefingers. So, you can imagine.
For anybody that if you do it with a little kid, "Oh, I got your nose."
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
That's. Well, so good to know. Don't ever do that if you're in South Africa.
I don't know if that's still done, but that was certainly when I was growing up. That was like what was happening. So funny.
Good to know.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Okay, third question.
No, hey, cultural education is a good thing. I appreciate that. All right. Number 3, final one. Does Barry Manilow know you raid his wardrobe?
Great. Wow. At least 2 out of 3 this week. Fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so do you have a question for us?
Yes, I actually have some thought-provoking ones. But first, because it wouldn't be a week without testing Chris's brain. But this is a different spin on it. This is trickier. But I only want you to tell me 3 movies.
Okay.
Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise have starred in 3 movies together. What are they?
Days of Thunder, Far and Away, and Eyes Wide Shut.
Dude, you had that you knew it immediately. Some people forget the Eyes Wide Shut one or the Far and Away because that's quite old. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, great film. I really like that.
Okay,
so question 1 is a thought-provoking one. This is a good one. I remember arguing with a friend. They brought this one out when it's one of those questions when you've gone to the pub, you've had a few beers, and you're walking home, and everybody's chatting nonsense, and dude, I did that for you. That was selfless. And then the question came up: can you ever commit a truly selfless deed?
Yeah, I believe so.
So
I think
I give you a wedge of money because I know you need it, right? It's going to help pay your rent. That's a good deed.
Sure.
That's pretty selfless. However, it makes me feel better to give you the money. It's not truly selfless then.
What if though I'm actually sacrificing to give you that money? Like it's not something that in the scheme of things, you need it more than I do, but I still need it.
But because you're such a good friend, you'll give that person the money so they can do it. Still, that makes you feel good because you've sacrificed something for your friend so they can survive.
I don't know if it makes me feel good necessarily. You know what I mean?
It might not financially make you good, but it might feel like, I've done a good thing.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I think that's kind of subjective, maybe, depending on the situation, depending on the thing. Yeah.
Like if you sacrificed your life for somebody, like how are they ever going to top this? Instead of Trinity saying dodge this, he's like top this.
Yeah. Top this, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. If you sacrificed yourself, that, unless you just hate your life, see, and then it's a win-win for you. Because you just, yeah.
Okay.
That's dark.
It is dark. Okay, so let us know in the comments what you think. Can you ever actually truly do a selfless deed? I like to think that the answer is yes, but I know people that don't think that humanity is actually all that selfless will say no. So it'll be interesting to see what people say. There was the second question that I'm trying to get the right words for it. Sorry.
No, well,
here it is.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
Yeah. Would you rather lose all your memories or never be able to make new ones?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a really good one.
It is a good one. Yeah.
Lose. Well, but that's the same thing. Because if I lose all my memories, I'm not able to make new ones.
So let's say you lose all your memories from your life, like now.
Okay.
But you can make new ones from that point on.
Okay.
But you know nothing about who you were before. So I had a friend. His name's Ruben. Or was it Ruben? I think he was a surfer, and one day he came off. At the time we were going to church together, and it was a good friend. He was a surfer. He hit his head, and he came out and he lost his memory, and he didn't know who he was. And from that point on, he wasn't like a Christian. He didn't know that like part of him, and he didn't know who we were. He didn't it was a totally different person because he didn't have. And so what he became was a totally different person. New friends, new family, like the lot. Yeah.
See, I think because of the stage that I'm at in my life, I would, as much as it would pain me, I think, to think about not making any new memories going forward, my kids are grown. I don't want to lose
those memories are precious of your family, even the hard ones, because they make the good ones so much better.
Oh yeah, I mean, my wife and I have been married for 26 years. We've been together for over 30.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, and yeah, has it been bumpy through there? Of course it has, but I wouldn't change that. I don't want to lose, I wouldn't want to lose that, because I think that's, like you said with your friend, that kind of makes me who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I would, because I can still be me, even if I can't make new memories, because I still have all of my past to help form me and shape me and direct me. So yeah, I would do that. Okay, so I don't want new memories. I'll keep what I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys, let us know what you would do. And I apologize for getting a bit real there. How dare I? This is only light-hearted entertainment and nonsense. But apparently we Ruben brings us back down to earth occasionally.
Yeah, that was a good one though. I like that question.
Yeah, I like the question. It's thought-provoking. It makes you think.
It is. Yeah. Very good. Cool. All right. Should we dive in?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. You want to kick it off?
Sure. In 2014, there was a documentary film that it's now on YouTube. You can go and watch it. It's an hour and 19 minutes long.
Okay.
An hour and 41 minutes long. It stars some famous stars that narrating because they felt passionate about the project themselves and wanted to be a part of it, like Hugh Jackman. And it's the thing that my wife and I once watched to spur a change in our life, and that we've recently watched. We watched it this morning because we're getting ready to make an adjustment in our life that is going to be sustainable, but you have to get yourself in the right frame of mind. It's also a hard documentary to watch because you realize how much the government has shaped the way things you eat and the way what you put in your mouth. And it's called That Sugar Film. And if you're ever trying to change the way you think about what sugar is or how far sugar has come and changed our society, watch this, because it's an Australian guy that basically takes himself. He's really fit. He's about to have a child, and it does this experiment of where for like 45 days he eats healthy food, what would be considered healthy food, what the government says is healthy food. So he doesn't have any fast food. He has no chocolate, no fizzy drinks, but he still has like the packaging, like protein bar or a juice mix. And it's still the equivalent of 30 to 40 teaspoons of sugar a day. And you go and see how his health massively deteriorates in 45 days. He has various doctors check his blood along the way, and mental states, depression, all that just connected to what's happening. It's really eye-opening, and it's not just like what that sugar is, the fructose sugar and all that kind of, but where it comes from, where it started, why it's been passed in a bill. There was this big scientific bill that especially I think in the United States, that they use to pass as scientific data that there's no correlation between certain diseases and sugar. And you're just like, whoa, like it's a big conspiracy, because it's, I think, in the top 3 biggest global money makers in the world, sugar. So there's no ways they would want that to stop. So if there's ever a connection with sugar and it's been bad for you, they jump on it straight away, or they spin it to be a different way. Coke, they own something like 248 brands, not just Coca-Cola. And every one of them have this scientific value where it's what did they call it? There was a scientist that made the perfect moment for where you love it, the taste, or it becomes too much. And you see that how they spent millions getting that taste. Like how much sugar do you put in until you love it and you're addicted to it, or you hate it. The same experiments was used on mice. No, it was rats. They gave rats treats of cocaine or sugar, and they were more addicted to sugar than they were the cocaine. So there's little tidbits. It's really interesting, but be warned, it'll make you probably want to change your diet, especially when it comes to a kid. And his diet of Mountain Dew, like a big families, like from 3-year-olds having Mountain Dew to having Mountain Dew in their bottles, right? Instead of formula. And you see their teeth, they're just absolutely rotten. And they're so bad that they couldn't even remove the teeth. This kid's 16 and he's having to get dentures because of the diet. And this is not, the doctor was saying, the dentist was saying, this is not new. It's just not talked about. He said he has it all the time. There is Mountain Dew mouth or something. Yeah, so it encompasses all of the effects. It's fantastic, but it will want to make you change the way you are. So if you're at that point in your life, but you need to change your mind and understanding of that sugar is poison, every part of it, then you should watch that.
So it's definitely advocating a non-sugar lifestyle, right?
As I'm having Dr. Pepper Zero, but even the fake sugars.
That was going to be my question. Do they address the fake sugars? Like for me, I can't have any of that because there's some weird reaction that I have to them. Yeah. So I can't drink diet sodas or anything else. But so they do address.
Yeah. No, it's as bad. Yeah, because it spikes your insulin as much as if you were having sugar, which then puts it onto fat. And if you look at an X-ray of the type of fat that is stored, it's black on the X-ray, and you just know it's bad. Yeah,
that's not good. Wow. Yeah. Well, and I know when you were here visiting, I have begun to drink these fizzy waters. They're sparkling waters. And at the first, I was like, no, because I love soda. Yeah, I mean, I really do. And it's part of the carbonation. Some of it is the sugar. It's the whole thing. I just decided I'm going to try this. And so I drank one and I kind of choked it down. And I've now become like, I will drink 3 of them a day
Okay.
And not feel guilty because there's no sugar in it. There's no sweeteners in it. There's
You've
nothing.
done well,
It's
because
just-
I tasted one of those that you had. I didn't like it at all. Yeah.
And to be fair, you tasted a nasty one.
Okay.
You drank one of the ones that I will never drink. So,
Right.
but there, I mean, the thing that it's been cool because I've been able to change my my taste buds some so that I crave having some of these because they taste similar to like a soda without any of the sweetness to it. And so I can drink them without any guilt because I know there's 0 calories, there's 0 sugar, it's literally just some natural flavorings and water, with bubbles. So now I still have soda when I go to the movies. I'm not.
I like soda, and popcorn is kind of like the thing, the movie. Yeah.
But that's interesting. I've never even heard of that sugar film. That's. Yeah, that's. I mean, the what was that Morgan Spurlock one? Super Size Me. You know that.
I mean, I think that the question is like in moderation for most things,
right?
But
Yeah.
when you understand how bad sugar is for you, it really is. Like people say, "Oh, it's so bad," and there's so much skeptical because people say everything is bad for you. But like, even carrots are bad for you because if you had too much of carrots, it's bad for you. It's
You
like
turn into an
you
orange.
literally your
raving-
skin.
Yeah.
But when you understand what sugar is meant for and like how it changed culture like around the world, when it was meant to be, having a bit of a sugar cube in your tea was a massive luxury, and we were able to process it so much, and now it's in everything because we need to be addicted to that food. And that's the sweet spot that scientists cultivated millions to get us, and that's in our healthy food. Let's not even go to the unhealthy stuff. There was a drink that this guy had, and it was something like you're meant to have maximum of 40 teaspoons a day, so according to the health experts, like throughout the whole day, and it was 36 teaspoons in one drink, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like no wonder. And to see how much weight he put on in 45 days, and he like thin, healthy dude, but then to be like chubby, having the fat around the tummy, that's specifically not a beer belly, but like a fructose belly. Yeah, and that was on the healthy foods. That's not even him being like ordering takeout. It's almost impossible, dude. You're like, I don't want to be a rabbit.
No, yeah, and you're right. Moderation, I think, is the big key. But you have to break that addiction to it first.
It's tough.
And that's going to be
sugar addiction, like rats. They would rather have sugar than cocaine. Yeah.
So, are you advocating?
Yes.
You okay?
For sure.
just checking. I don't know.
Much better, man. You'll be happier. You have better teeth.
You will be moving at light speed.
Yes.
Or at least you will feel like it.
I was going to say another drug, but I don't want to say too many words, because YouTube
they
will
just
be like,
monetize instantly.
red.
Like, I'm gonna block you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is one that well, there's two actually that make you lose friends and money. One at least is a very good diet
right.
drug, I've heard, but I don't want. But the rest of it that goes along with that,
Yeah, that's not fun.
is supposedly
Yeah. A
you
diet
lose it,
of
like-
your wallet, of your friends, of your family.
family,
Yeah, and so much
places
else.
to live.
Yeah. All of that. Yeah. Your teeth. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, moving from one addiction kind of to another.
Okay.
This week, Apple TV Plus debuted the Big Door Prize.
Yes.
And did you get a chance to start the series yet?
No, not yet. No.
I think you'll like it.
It's got a bit of sci-fi in there, doesn't it?
It might.
Oh, okay.
It's more of, I mean, it's definitely heavy on the social commentary, even though it's not preachy.
Right.
It stars Chris O'Dowd, and he's an Irishman who moved to the U.S. as a child. So he's been here basically his whole life. He lives in a small town, and one day at their general store, this video game like thing shows up, and it's called the Morpho, and it you put in some money, you do a couple of things that it asks you to, and then it spits out a card that supposedly has your life's potential on there. And what this does is the whole town becomes enamored by this, but they're driven by it, you know? And so they're trying to, they're not trying to, they're allowing the word on the card to redefine them.
So do you buy the premise? Because why would you believe what this card says?
See, and that's where a lot of the commentary comes in, because it really addresses contentedness in people. You know what I mean? Like we go about our lives and we feel that we're content. And if you are, then the card isn't going to mean anything. There's not going to be any draw to that or anything else.
Why would I? I am an astronaut.
Yeah. Well, and even, you know what? Like, I got a good family. I'm comfortable. Am I as rich as I want to be? No, you know, but I'm making ends meet. We have food on the table. You know, we have a place to sleep. So
that's
I'm happy.
More than a lot of people have. Yeah.
You know, and so there's definitely differences here. And I think, if you were to go to like some less wealthy countries, they would look at this and be like, well, you're stupid. You're just ultra privileged, Americans. Because good Lord, why do you have to complain about, because all these people, they have homes, they have jobs, they have, family, friends, everything. So it's not, and so, it really does go down to, would you let some unknown thing speak so much into your life that it causes ripples? And that's
really interesting, because then that's saying that almost that whole town is just not content with their lives. Oh yeah,
and it unravels a lot of people. It creates some good discussions, and then it creates weird scenarios where you're like, you have these two people who they're coming from one area, and because they have their cards, and there's no interpretation to the card. There's no instructions with this.
Right.
It's like a word.
Just go and change your life now because of this word. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people do. Actually, a lot of people do. And so you get to watch this play out. It's 30-minute episodes-ish, right. And I think there's, if I'm remembering correctly, there's 10 total. For the first 3 dropped at once, I believe, or at least the first 2.
Yeah,
I would go every other week with this.
Right.
I would do an hour at a time.
Watch a couple together.
Watching 2 episodes. At the end of the series, there becomes this twist.
Oh, okay.
To it, so you've spent all of this time getting to know the characters. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are annoying, but you still kind of feel for them. There's a lot of tension that's inherent in what goes on, even though it's not always like overly dramatic.
Yeah.
And so I found myself, because I got to binge it all, you know what I mean? That's the other thing. And that's why I say watch it every other week, right. Because you have more of a chunk there. There's a good amount of comedy, and it's balanced with the drama. But you definitely,
I'd expect comedy, but dry comedy from Chris O'Dowd. But is there the rest of the cast? Is it the situations they find themselves in that's funny?
Some are situations, some are delivery, and some of it is this weird mix of like, it's not biting comedy, but it's comedy within sadness.
Right, yeah. Okay.
And it works. So, in Scream 6, there was the neighbor, the guy that lived across the street, who was kind of sketchy. Okay. There's this dude in there. He in Scream 6, who is a main character in this series. And like, you don't like the character, but yet you can feel for the character. Like he has a, I wouldn't call it relatable arc, but something that's sympathetic.
Yeah.
And he's meant to be annoying because it illustrates the hole in him that there is, you know, and him trying to overcompensate or cover up or anything like that. And so, and you get to see that in different personalities and play out in different ways. And there's a very slight romance angle to a little bit here and there. The overall mystery is not deep because, you know, it's where did this machine come from? Why is it here? Who put it here? What's the purpose of it? At the end of the series, though, it goes, here's something very mysterious.
Okay.
And you're like, oh.
Because that's initially what made me interested about this series. It reminded me of Needful Things from Stephen King's story. This guy arrives with his store and he has like the perfect thing that everybody needs in his store, but there's always a price. So I was thinking that it could be something like that. At the end, maybe. I guess we'll see in season 2.
Yeah. It's definitely worth a watch. It's like I found it by the end of it. I mean, I was enthralled with it. I was enjoying the characters. I was enjoying all of the interactions and everything. It was just as a week to week watch, I think that's where it will struggle a little bit because it's
Okay. So let me change my battery quick. Just
okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst ourselves. Okay. So as Ruben does that, I'm going to describe for everybody that's not on the audio. Well, I can't even see it now. But if you've never seen Ruben's set, he has all of these Funkos and different things behind him, which is really cool. And he's got this giant Cthulhu character, which is outstanding. He also has a He-Man that is huge, and then a Demogorgon also. And it's just, they're massive in scale compared to the rest of the little Funkos. And so it's really cool to look at.
Okay, cool.
I'm not even going to give you context on what I was talking about.
That's fine. I don't need to know, I swear.
Oh, okay. So I'm done talking about the Big Door Prize. What's next on your list?
So last week I spoke about the Mandalorian episode 4, The Foundling. And I said how it was a return to form, but I didn't really know where they were going with the story. So episode 5, chapter 21, The Pirate, is 44 minutes long. It's about the people of Navarro need protection from rampant pirate attacks. Dude, this, again, excellent episode. It's really started to find its feet, which has me worried because there's only 8 episodes in each season, and we're now on episode 5. But it's like it's good now, but if they've taken time to get there. However, got some of the geekiest moments, like fans of the Mandalorians, where you see a number of Mandalorians on screen together, fighting together on a common cause. They have something now that they want. So not only are they becoming the protectors once more again to protect Navarro and its people from pirates, but there's an outcome of that is really worth it to them, and so you are willing everything to happen. There's also like this kind of outskirt arc that's now flowing about something that's happening elsewhere. That kind of comes into it nicely. But man, it looks great. It encompassed all of the characters that you really want to encompass now in the Mandalorian, and it feels like now they know where they're going, or what they're fighting for, and that's what we needed. So it's a nice long episode as well, 44 minutes. It's so crazy that that's long because
right.
Yeah.
Well, is this because I'm way behind on the series. I've not even watched the full or all of episode 1, but
okay,
is this now ramifications of what happened in episode 1, where Mando and
possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, so
it is weird that now it's beginning to feel like it's
Yeah, exactly. Like if I were to rank the seasons so far, I would definitely just rank them 1, 2, 3. Because first one was amazing. Second one was still good. I love the whole Luke inclusion, but I'm still not okay with the graphics. They didn't look great on his face. Like people like, no, what are you talking about? No, he still looks digitized. Like it's just but I want Grogu to become a Jedi, but also I want Grogu with the Mandos. I don't know, personal opinions. Seeing Grogu now as a foundling, as part of the Mandalorian crew, it's a very interesting mix because he has 2 years of Jedi training. He already had some Jedi training before, and now he's mixing that in with the Mandalorians. I think is a very interesting story to tell. He's like the most interesting character now, so I'm hoping if we get more seasons, we'll see him talk or grow, become something. Like I hope they don't stop it. Like I don't know how long our main character, because he's a big news now, isn't he? Like he'd be expensive, but maybe they could do like offshoot stories of Grogu. And could you really do Grogu without him though? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's that father-son duo.
Yeah, that's what works really well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it would be interesting because, like, if you think to like Guardians, a teenage Groot became actually annoying. At least to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're not fun.
Come on,
yeah, you were great as an adult. You were great as a little kid, you know, the sapling. But
I really like Buff Groot though.
Yes. Well, yes, absolutely. But I think some of the endearing part of Grogu is that relationship that they two share together. You know what I mean? And him
very much so. Yeah.
Him sneaking off to eat something, or
so funny,
or or play with something that he shouldn't, and the dad having to go, "Oh, come on!"
That's something they continue. There's so many nice dad moments where he's like proud of his son. Like he has to start training with other Mandalorians, but he's tiny. In fact, the rule is if he can't speak, then he shouldn't be allowed to train. But Mando says no, he needs to start at some point. So when you see him face off a youngling as himself, I say youngling, not Jedi, but a foundling, you're worried for him because he's so tiny compared to any other kid that's, but...
Well, and also, I mean, okay, so first off, Yoda was not tall.
No, exactly. He was the best, right?
Yeah, when you watch him spinning in, what is that? Is that episode 3 where he's fighting Count Dooku?
So good. Attack of the Clones, fighting
2, that's right, yes. But like he's really old. Like Yoda is really, really old. So do we even know how old Grogu is?
I don't know. Like with this species, he could be 50 and still not have learned to speak yet.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, so he
had a few years training as a youngling. Look, the sun's doing that thing again. Amazing. But he is starting to put like words together, but not like we understand.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he could totally. I don't know. Maybe he's like 21 or something. Yeah, maybe he's in his teenage years and it's just stropping about.
Well, he is hungry like a teenager, so that.
And he's a bit of a cannibal, isn't he? So
yes. Yeah, he's definitely a carnivore, that's for sure.
Yes.
Oh, right on. Cool. Okay, good to move on?
Yeah.
This is a movie you saw also, next on my list. It is called Kill Boksoon.
I wondered if you were going to talk about this.
I wasn't sure how much I was enjoying it at first. This is not the perfect movie by any means.
No, it's not. And in my review, I warned people, it's not what you expect.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. There are portions of it where I'm like, I don't know about this. But the action sequences in this are so much fun. Like
they're so stylistic as well.
Yeah, because there's a handful of them. I mean, first off, the the opening scene is fun and it's abrupt also. That's what I like about it. I like that the inclusion of Boksoon, our main character, who is this assassin, that she plays things out in her mind, scenarios.
That's a very cool way to do it. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. So because you don't know necessarily, oh, did that really happen?
Yeah,
or,
and then it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Which in that final fight is outstanding to use.
What they did there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wasn't that creative?
Really
I mean, it
creative.
was, yeah. But the action sequences are brutal, but the camera work that they do in there is so much fun because it just makes you very immersive. Like there's a fight scene with the this head of this company, and basically a quick little overview. There's this group of assassins, this company, this enterprise where you have all of these assassin companies, I guess, and they can only they've set up rules where if you're given an assignment, you have to do the assignment, you have to complete the assignment, you can't fail at it, but you can't take on your own assignments. It has to be assigned and everything else. And so they live by these rules, and if you break them, well, bad things happen. Sort of, I guess, maybe, theoretically, at least. But there's a scene where the head of this organization, the very top guy, is at this bar in Russia, and it's very John Wick. I mean, it really is. It was
sure. Also reminded me of what's there another assassin film or training special agents? Manners maketh man. What's that?
Oh yeah, Kingsman.
Yeah, if you think similar to the church scene, just absolute chaos. Yeah.
Well, and the camera movements too, how it will pan and spin from one character and then zoom in on another and then flip back around to see, with their actions. So it makes it very immersive.
Yeah.
In that. There's another sequence that was all bloody too. I mean, it was crazy.
It's super gory. Yeah, it was great.
It was so good. I mean, it was funny too because you watch. There's one dude with a shotgun, and everything is over exaggerated.
Yeah,
which works though in this world that they're setting up for these fights.
Yeah.
There's also another fight that happens inside a cafe type of thing,
like their own clubhouse cafe sort of thing.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. It's, again, gory. It's crazy. Parts of it are really funny because there's some slapstick that they insert into this, and it shouldn't work. But for me,
death.
It did.
Yeah. But it did.
You're like, what?
Yeah. Really
and then but there's a scene where they break through a wall, and so you have two fights happening, one on each side of the wall, and that camera slowly spinning around so that it's capturing what's happening on both sides of the wall at different moments, and it's very fluid. It creates this immense amount of energy for the scene, and it becomes seamless, and the good thing is because as you go around the thing, when you're not on camera, you can be resetting and doing whatever you need to, and gives them that opportunity because they can control the speed of the camera at which it spins around. So if they need to pause a little bit more or go slower, and it just makes you see that much more action that's going on. And I like that they didn't quick cut. That was the other.
So one of my pet peeves there's been these filmmaking techniques that I've used a lot, or the boams in the sound effect, using a thing to death and not being creative of your own, the Dutch tilt in the camera, just as awful, right? The 360 has been a thing that filmmakers have been using because they've been lazy. They just want to go around the person and make it like, this is cool, right? Because we're doing 360. Yeah. And there's been so much of it. This takes that 360, goes across the boards, watching, like you said, those two fights, and then they can still plan and change all the sets and stuff, or reset. and carry on that move. And it made it so creative. And your mind is like, oh, so they're doing that while that's happening. And you cross over to the other side. And they doing that's what that's, there's one bit where a knife goes through the door and you're like, oh, and it affects the other side. I'm just like, this is brilliant. I can't imagine how long and how much they had to practice. Probably weeks for this one scene. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the choreography, it's good. I think there's definitely lacking areas within the story. Like I talked about the organization. I felt that it was included, like all of the posturing and everything by all of these heads of the company, or was included just so they could have this one fight scene.
Right.
Because it was like, I'm okay with knowing the rules and then moving on from there.
Yeah, I kind of want, if they were going to go through all that time, I wanted her to go into that kind of meeting and take them all out, that sort of thing.
Exactly,
because I thought that's what they were leading up to, because you kind of know when somebody's not in the organization anymore, or just not like jiving with how they roll.
Yeah.
Right? Like what they're up to, what they're doing. You don't have the same opinions anymore, so you're obviously going to go against the grain. When it comes to assassins, that often means knives and guns and things.
Yes. I did like there's a gut punch moment in the final scene, or the final fight scene. Yeah. And like, I was not expecting that. No, like it was the setup even for what's happening. You're like, oh, something really bad is going to happen. And it's not the bad thing that I expected to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then that mother-daughter relationship, because that's part of the whole thing where Boksoon is trying to balance her life as an assassin and now also as a mother of a teenage girl. And, which was probably easier when she was younger because she didn't ask questions as much or anything like that. And now, the daughter is coming into her own. She's much more not only inquisitive and paying attention, but she's also living her own life. And the outcome at the end,
I could see a sequel with the mother and daughter, and that's all I'm going to say. If they did it well, I could see it working well because of a thing. Yeah. And I wouldn't mind it.
I don't think I would mind it either. Some of the lines that the daughter said were great.
Yeah.
Because you look at her and go, well, you're kind of sweet, and ooh, I don't know
There's
about you.
Darkness, but also that makes sense because your mother.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It was a little long. I know I'm listing a bunch of negatives within there, but from an action standpoint, from an exciting standpoint, this was a lot of fun movie. A lot of fun as a movie. So,
yeah, good choice. For my final choice, I don't know if you enjoyed this as much as I did, but I think it's one of the better comedy series that I've seen from Netflix recently, and that's Unstable from Netflix with Rob Lowe, who's a crazy scientist. He's a genius. Who actually plays the son character is actually his son in real life. So that's a really nice real chemistry moments. They're short episodes. There's only, I think it's 8 episodes. I didn't think it was 10. Yeah, I think it
was 8. Yeah.
Maybe it was 8.
No. Yeah.
Very easy to binge watch and get through. So the balance, this is what I really liked about this series. There was this balance of comedy and real heart and like some darkness. So it starts off, for those that don't know, they've the character that Rob Lowe plays, and his son, they've lost their mother. His wife died, and he's just a broken man because he'd spent so many years that like his life with her for like at least 20 or 30 years. He doesn't know who he is, and so all the places he used to go in the science lab, that kind of thing, he just sees her, so he can't get over that. So he used to be this like eccentric, happy guy, but his wife was the tether between the relationship of the son and the husband, but also between him and his work. She is the often is that way. I think in families, like the woman kind of holds everybody together, and so you see that's where you start, and so you see the eccentric nature of. You just need to watch the trailer to understand how eccentric he is.
Yeah.
Like he's butt naked in one scene because he's about to go to a meeting with the board members, and he's just like, this is going to help. Like everything he does to try and get himself in center or in okay moment is weird and off the wall. But then you get all the other weird characters that are in the science lab as well, which are fantastic. They're all very unique. I feel like once you've gone into like the 4th episode, they all feel quite defined. You know who they are, what they are, and you like that because then you get to see them interact with each other. And if you get one guy that's just dry comedy and the other guy or lady who's just eccentric, and you can get those two together, like the lady that looks after Rob Lowe. I love her dry comedy. I think she's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
She thinks she's funny, but she really isn't. She's just harsh, which in itself is funny. She's also writing erotic writing about the office life that they have and some of that stuff that is brilliant. But because it's her character, the way she writes the erotic stuff is odd as well. You get the two characters that you love to hate, the brothers. They're the worst.
At the beginning of the show, I was like, oh, I'm not sure how much I can take of you.
Yeah, exactly. They're bad. Yeah, they're awful. But then there's almost a redemption bit because you kind of understand their characters, where they come from. Don't like them, but you get them. I do think the father and son thing is the story that grounds the shenanigans. Yeah. What did you think? Yeah.
I completely agree. Like, I don't know if you've seen, Rob Lowe has it's Instagram and or Twitter, but his sons troll him all the time. Amazing. On there. Yeah, like they're so good. I mean, it is just it's
genius.
It's like it's a bit in a show all in its own to watch that. And so the natural chemistry that they bring to the screen, I liked that a lot. I thought that was really good. The comedy, it was funny to me. That was the thing. For me though, it became too much over the course, because I binged the entire thing, and halfway through I was like, I'm tired of this. Like, I
don't think that was just you. I do think the comedy works better in the first 4 episodes than the second episode. I think it just wasn't as tight, that second half.
Okay. Because I didn't want to feel tired of it. Because exactly. I loved the relationship, and I loved how the father and son were growing together. You know what I mean? That they had been not really estranged, but like you said, I mean, there was space between them because the mom was that tether and that link between them that really helped to connect them. And probably because they're so similar, you know, but then also you have the son who's trying to make his own, and he's trying to go his own direction, trying to get outside of his dad's shadow, even though his brain works like his dad's. I mean,
exactly. I mean, he's also a genius. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so him trying to deny that, you know, and him
becoming a flautist.
Or flutist. Flautist. That was funny. But yeah, so him rejecting what he's really, really good at, and actually that he enjoys. Yeah. Because he doesn't want to be like his dad, but then realizing that his dad's not all that bad. Excuse me. And that it's not a bad thing to be like his dad, and he can find balance within there if he just works at it. So yeah, I like it. I agree with you. The amount of unique personalities that there were funny. I mean, Fred Armisen, I wanted to just slap him so hard.
Who's the guy that's obsessed with Rob Lowe?
Oh my gosh.
Because he's a great character.
He was, well, and I love also that he is best friends with the son.
Yes.
You know, and they knew each other growing up.
Yeah. But he's so obsessed with his dad.
Oh my gosh.
You can't say a bad word against him because he will flip out.
So funny at how distracted he gets.
Yeah.
You know, just it's
That's great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, this is a good. I like it for like casual watch also, because it's light, it's easy, it moves quickly, but it has good characters as well. Yeah, I think for me, if I were going to rewatch it, I would watch a couple episodes and stop.
Here and there, yeah, like maybe with dinner, and then move on to something else.
Exactly.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So good choice. That's fun. All right, my last one is something that I actually just finished yesterday. I had gotten screeners early, so I watched half of it earlier in the week.
Okay.
And it is a Taiwanese crime thriller. It's called
I'm excited
Copycat
to hear
Killer.
your thoughts on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is going to be one of those that might be a little hard for some people to get into.
Okay.
It's slower. Like it is a patient storytelling.
Yeah, I'm out. Thanks.
Gotta go. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, there's 10 episodes. They're all almost an hour, with I think the last two being over an hour.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that's a big ask, isn't it?
that it is. And for me, the beginning of the first episode, I don't know what's going on. Like, it's very chaotic, and we're being introduced to this serial killer. And basically what it is based on a story about Taiwan's first serial killer. And so right there, first off, that's right up my alley. Like, yes, okay. Dark and disturbing, cool. Makes me happy.
And world cinema.
And world, yes, totally. It's non-English, yay. So I'm there. The characters are complex, and so it makes it engaging to watch in that aspect, because you have this prosecutor who's leading the investigation, trying to solve the murders of these young women who have been kidnapped and brutalized, and he has his own trauma from his past that's pretty dark and messed up. And we see that play out little bits here and there. And then we get a final resolution. We understand the full context of what happened, which really helps to shape him and his motivations for why he's so driven to catch bad guys.
Yeah.
I do think the camera pauses and lingers on certain characters too long, because for me, it gave away one. And
okay. That's
which was it was disappointing, but halfway through. So I finished the first 5 episodes because that's what I had screeners of. And by the end of that, I'm like, why is this called Copycat Killer?
That's also not good.
Because I'm like, and it sounds like I'm down on this series, but it is on the best thing that I watched this week, because the series as a whole is dark. Excuse me. It's unsettling. It has some really good twists to it, and it addresses some really like complex character flaws, and it speaks to why would somebody do something, and when you see some of them, for some people you're like, oh, well, I don't excuse your behavior, but I can see how this affected you. And then others, you're like, well, you're just a messed up person. You're just completely wrong, and there's no sympathy for you, because there's no reason for you to do this other than you're messed up. And so it's good to have bad guys like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of action to it. I mean, there are some action moments.
Is there serial killer moments? Because
there are
Copycat and it's about serial killer. Yeah.
There are some brutal moments to it. There are some shocking moments. Like one, I was like, oh, like you're like, oh, and because the characters that we're watching get so intertwined in the story, for me, it was riveting. I mean, it really was. Even though it's slower, even though it's patient and it takes time, and you're like, why am I watching this? It's all building to what happens as we get towards the end.
Okay.
And so it's, there's definitely this game of cat and mouse. And I'm not going to answer why it's called Copycat Killer.
Okay. Does it have a completion?
It does.
Okay. So you think it's a one and done?
I think it's one and done. I mean, you could follow the prosecutor.
Right. So he could do a different case, maybe.
Yeah, but the way this resolves, it would be a totally different thing all the way around.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm looking at this like I think this is a one and done series. It's based off a novel or a book series, something like that. It's as a whole, it's executed really well. If you have the patience and the time to go through it, then absolutely. Even if you took like a week to go through it, you know what I mean?
I might have to do it that way.
Yeah, no, it is a lot to binge as one. I mean, I did that, and it was, so I watched the first 5 episodes and I was like, okay. But then by the end of the 5th episode, I'm like, crap, how many more are there? First off, I don't know. And then like, I need them now because we're definitely in the middle of the show. You know what I mean? And we've gotten some reveals, which also, when you get a reveal earlier on, you're like, what? Come on. We have 10 episodes. Is this going to drag this out?
Right. Does it feel that way when you...
No, because there's more to be revealed. Right. And even when another large reveal happens, there is information and actions that are brought about and ramifications from everything that's been building.
Right.
And so there is a good payoff, and even though knowing a reveal, I mean, it's kind of like when you watch, like for me, Luther. A lot of the times the episodes in Luther, we're shown who the character is, who the perpetrator is in the first 5 minutes of the show. The rest of it becomes that chase, that working of it, of how do you catch the person that we know is the perpetrator. And so you get some of that as well within there. I mean, it's just, so even though there might be a reveal before the finale.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've found like a lot of Korean series do that, especially when it's the serial killers or they'll do, what was it we were watching? One of our favorite recently, we had the series, the Glory, where there's a whole story and you get the answer and you find out who did it. But that's just, and then it has a couple of episodes still, and you're like, well, what are they going to do now? But then they show you why, so you get to go on that journey as to how that occurred. So that sounds interesting. It's not Korean, it's not Japanese, it's Taiwanese. So is that the first time watching a Taiwanese series? We've seen a couple of movies, but
I think it might be. It's harder to tell because I don't speak the language, and so I don't, my ear cannot discern a lot of the different
well, you need to get on
dialects and stuff. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like listening. I don't know. So I may have seen a Taiwanese series before, but nothing stands out to me as remembering that.
Right. Yeah.
But this was checks so many of my boxes of, dark, disturbing, murder, mystery. Non-English. Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
So cool. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we thank you for tuning in, for checking us out, for just hanging out through this. Hopefully, there are things that we have listed that maybe were not on your list or even on your radar. So we've, piqued your interest to try and check them out. Don't forget, answer the movie quote quiz. Let us know your answer to Ruben's existential question where he got real there for a moment, which we appreciate. That was cool. Let us know all of that in the comments. You like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday, me, Chris, with Movies and Munchies. We have a Patreon opportunity. The entry level is £1, so that's like $1.30, I think, something around there.
Yeah,
crap ton of videos on there, adding new ones. This week we are talking about Dungeons and Dragons, which is going to be fun. And then for the next tier up, we're also discussing a series, which at least part of the series. There's a lot of seasons for it, but that's okay. We're diving into it. So you can go check that out, patreon.com/thebearded ones. It's also in the description below. Podcast.
Yes.
Exclusive audio. If you only watch on YouTube, check out the link in the description that takes you to our audio podcast, because in that we have an extended portion. It's not just this. We talk about movie news, entertainment news, things that we are looking forward to that are coming up, that we think might be of interest to you, at least to put on your radar. And then also we do an exclusive movie review. This time it's a movie that I had never seen. One, Ruben, I think you had. Oh, you'd never seen it either. Okay, so it was a first-time watch for both of us. Will be an interesting discussion, I think. And you can just, check that out there. With that, we thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, all right? Take care.